Hello everyone, this is Keith Jackson and welcome to Jack's Math Notebook. In this video, we're going to gain an understanding of proportions. Proportions can be done this way. You can have one ratio and you can set it equal to another ratio. And those two equivalent ratios form a proportion. And so we have six big examples to show you how that is done. And so in big example one, we can do this. So we have 50 over 40. We have 50/40. This is equal to 10 over an unknown number. What we could do, we can cross multiply right here and now, but it's always good to simplify before you create the proportion by using cross products. And so what you and I are going to do, we're just going to cross out a zero here and a zero here because zeros make numbers happy because they make simplification a whole lot easier. And so we know that 50 over 40 is really the same as 5 over 4. And we can set 5 over 4 is equal to 10 over a number. Now, when we use cross products, we're just going to multiply 4 times 10. 4 times 10 is equal to 40, which means that 5 times a number has to equal 40 because the equal sign cannot tell a lie, right, in this case. And so what number times 5 will give me 40? That's right, 5 times 8 will give me 40. So that lets us know right here that x is equal to 8. And so now our proportion is 50 over 40 is equal to 10 over 8, which is the same as saying 5 over 4 is also equal to 10 over 8 as well. Now let's move on to big example 2, and we're going to use cross products to find the answer here. We're going to find a number, we're going to solve for x by finding a number that belongs right here in place of x. The good news is that this fraction right here is already simplified, so all we have to do is just simply cross multiply. And so we multiply 24 times 3, we're going to get 72. And that lets us know that 8 times this unknown number has to equal 72 as well, because the equal sign is not going to tell us a lie, because 72 has to find a way to be equal to 72. And all we have to do is just find that unknown number. And as you know, right here, if we go 8 times 9 is going to equal to 72, which lets us know that x is equivalent to 9. And so 3/8 is the same as 9/24. All right, let's move on to big example 3, in which we have 4/15 is equal to x over 90. All right, and so we can do it this way. So we know that 90 times 4 has to give us 360. And so 15 times an unknown number has to give us 360 as well, as you see right here. And so what number times 15 will give us 360? Well, all you have to do is just divide 360 by 15, and that answer is going to be 24. So we know that x is equal to 24, which lets us know that 4 over 15 is equal to 24 over 90. Now let's move on to big example 4, in which, in this case, we're going to simplify the fraction. And we could simplify 52 over 72 by dividing both numbers by 4. And when we do that, what we get? We get 13 over 18, right? Because 52 divided by 4 would give us 13, and 72 divided by 4 would give us 18. So again, 52 divided by 4 would give us 13, and 72 divided by 4 would give us 18. And here is the good news. Since we have a 13 here, and we have this unknown number right here, since we know that 13 is already in the denominator when we simplified 52 over 72, and we know right here is 18. So D has to be 18 because these two have to equal each other. Because 13/18 has to equal 13/18, especially if you have 13 in the numerator already. And that just lets you know that, hey, D has to be 18. All right, and so let's move on to big example 5, again, in which we're going to simplify the fraction before we actually work it out. We know that we can simplify 48 over 56 by dividing both numbers by 8. And when we do that, we get 6 over 7. And guess what? Since 48 over 56 is equivalent to 6 over 7, and the numerator is already 6 over here, then D again has to be 7 because 6/7 will have to equal 6/7. And let's move on to our final example in which we're going to use a multiple. All right. And so we know that 6 times a certain number will give us 54. We could just multiply that number that we used in the denominator. We just use that same number in the numerator, just like we did right here, because we know that 6 times 9 will give us 54. We're just going to take that 9 and multiply it by the numerator. And we know that 1 times 9 will give us 9. And so 1/6 is actually the same as 9 over 54. And that lets us know right here that D is equal to 9. Okay, yeah, I've been given quite a bit of information. I wouldn't blame you if you need to pause the video to look at each and every one of these big examples, or replay this video as many times you need to gain a deeper understanding of this concept. But in the meantime, please comment, share, like, and subscribe to Jack's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you and goodbye.